Welcome back. Last year, he called U.S. President Bush the devil. Now Venezuela's president is lashing out at Washington again. It came after a U.S. State Department spokesman said Hugo Chávez's plans to legislate by decree are, quote, a bit odd in a democracy. Mr. Chávez says Washington should mind its own business.
Why
the hell should the gringos be worried about the laws in Venezuela? That is the sacrosanct legal authority of Venezuela. Go to hell, gringos. Go home. Go home.
Well, Venezuela's legislature this week is expected to approve a law that would give Mr. Chávez 18 months to decree legislation.
One of Mr. Chávez's left-leaning allies in Latin America marks 1 year in power. Evo Morales was sworn in a year ago today as Bolivia's first indigenous president. Erica Fraga is deputy editor of The Economist Intelligence Unit. Thank you very much for coming. You've just returned from Bolivia, haven't you?
Yeah.
A year ago, there's a lot of hope surrounding his rise to power. Is that still there?
Yeah.
A lot of public support?
Yeah, he's still quite popular for sure. He still has like over 50% of public approval, which is a lot. But I think that if you consider like his first year in power, the results were probably mixed with a negative bias considering what he achieved. He achieved a lot, mainly considering his political campaign promises, especially regarding the nationalization of the gas sector.
How far has he gone with that? He's basically taken companies from the private sector and put them in the public sector. How far has he gone with that?
Well, basically, negotiations were completely completed in October last year, and this is done. I think that private companies now think that, well, at least they have like an environment with clear rules. The rules have changed, but now they have clear rules. But now it will all depend on the political developments, I think, if the companies reconsider like investing in Bolivia again and
Well, it doesn't do much to encourage foreign companies to invest in the country, does it? Has there been a big backlash because investors aren't as welcome in that country effectively now?
I think that, as I said, in the case of the foreign oil companies, they came to an agreement with the government, which means that they accepted new terms. I think that the main obstacle now to new investments in Bolivia is actually the political situation. There's lots of tensions and social unrest,
particularly in Cochabamba, which is a localized version of the national problems, isn't it? There's riots there, effectively, the two sides. It's one side supporting the mayor, one side supporting Morales. Just take us through what's going on there.
Well, basically, what happens in Bolivia, I've just returned from there, and it's a completely polarized country. You have like the eastern part of Bolivia, which is like the richest part of the country.
Anti-Morales.
In general, anti-Morales, yeah. And you have the highlands of Bolivia, the western part, where you have like, most of indigenous people live, and you have like agriculture and very strong support for Morales there. And basically, these two groups are clashing, but this is like a result of an antagonism between Morales and his opponents, and they can't come to an agreement, especially regarding a constituent assembly that was supposed to be making headway now towards its end, but it's basically completely stalled.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait to see about the full success of his tenure, as it were. But very briefly, do you think he's at least lived up to some of the promises he made a year ago, some of those radical promises?
Well, I think so, yeah. He managed to renegotiate contracts with oil companies, so basically he nationalized the gas sector. I think this was his main promise.
And he's doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, Erica Fraga, thank you very much for joining us.
One of France's most beloved public figures has died. Roman Catholic priest Abbe Pierre was called a living